women's 800 meters delivered one of the most intense middle distance battles of the meeting, featuring aggressive pacing, tactical positioning, and a dramatic final lap that completely changed the race. In this video, we break down how Nicola Kova managed to defeat Alica Schmidt and several rising European talents through superior race strategy and late acceleration. From the fast opening pace to the decisive final 200 meters, every moment revealed the importance of rhythm, patience, and timing in elite 800-meter racing. We'll also analyze the performances of Lucia Sturm, Laia Belshaw, and Fiona von Fuel in a race packed with young talent and unexpected twists.
Belshaw of Great Britain, European Under-18 champion last year, and she just set a new personal best over 1,500 metres of 4:09 in Watford. And she's pretty much equalled her 800-metre personal best, right on that 2:02 high. Michelle Grobley of Switzerland goes in lane 3. 400-metre specialist turned into an 800-metre runner. We're going to see a whole load of those in the next, in this race and in the A race coming up at the end of the programme. But Grobley has her best down to 2:03 so far. I think there'll be loads of athletics fans delighted to see Anita Henriksdottir of Iceland back on the start lines. The World Youth and European Junior Champion, European Indoor Championship bronze medalist back in 2017, is finding some form. She's down to 2:03 so far this year. Alica Schmidt goes in lane 1 for Germany. This is her first full season as an 800-metre runner. 52-second runner for 400 metres, so it's a brave move to abandon an event that you're competent in and comfortable with and launch out into the double lap. But Alica Schmidt is giving it a good go. Best of 2:04.5 so far this year. Henriksdottir, 2:05, her lifetime best set back in 2017. Would love to get below that 2:03. She's been stuck on that 2:03 for a few years. Henriksdottir took a good win in the Oslo B race at the Diamond League. It's just fantastic to see her competing and racing. This is an aggressive start from Von Fuel, the Swiss athlete, the youngster. I mentioned that 400-metre personal best, so plenty of leg speed for her. I do think there'll be a bit of a junior battle going on between Belshaw and Von Fuel. Very interesting to see how they match up, having probably raced domestically for most of the season. But a swift opening 200 metres for these athletes, 27 seconds. The pace that's been asked for is 59. But I think Pisova of the Czech Republic had to work hard to get ahead of all these athletes. It's Lucia Sturm of Germany who's put herself up in front of the rest of the racers. Mentioned that new personal best, 2:01.77. That's 3 weeks old now, so Sturm's had a bit of time to train. Good time to get on top of that form and build on it. Could be why she's going so aggressively through this first lap. Let's have a look at the split through 400 metres. 57.8, that's mighty fast for these women. I think Anita Henriksdottir and perhaps Alica Schmidt have played this right. Hanging at the back of the field here, just relaxing somewhat. And perhaps the likes of Grobley as well. Just running a patient race here. Grobley going the first to go past Von Fuel. And there's a response here from Lucia Sturm as the pacemaker drops to one side. Laia Belshaw of Great Britain has moved so well in this third 200 metres. Laia Belshaw on the shoulder of Sturm. And there's a big move, a response from Von Flue, the young Swiss athlete. It's the under-20s flanking at Lucia Sturm. And Laia Belshaw, fresh off that 4:09 personal best in 1,500 metres, has launched into the lead with 150 to go. These three pulling clear of the rest of the field. Alica Schmidt just starting to struggle ever so slightly. Henriksdottir trying to launch a finish down the home straight. Laia Belshaw looks absolutely full of running though. She hits 50 metres to go. The clock at 1:55. This could be a lovely run for Laia Belshaw. Whatever it is, it's a good victory, a well-judged tactical race for Laia Belshaw. 2:02.03, that's a new lifetime best for the junior by nearly a second. A patient run from Belshaw. She put herself in a good position. Probably one of her fastest first 400-metre splits ever. But she didn't falter. She held her nerve. And that's a great run from Belshaw as she looks towards those European Junior Championships. Take place in Tampere in Finland in a few weeks' time. Sturm, so much of the early running rewarded with second place, 2:02.59. Von Flue, a personal best for that junior as well, 2:02.64. A lower 2:03 for Henriksdottir, who's still moving in the right direction. And you know what? Anita Henriksdottir, that is the fastest time she's run in 7 years. Lovely to see the Icelandic athlete mixing it with these athletes here today. You can see the pacemaker just saying, did I really have to go 27 to get ahead of you lot? And that pacemaking will be fine when we look towards the A race that's coming up in about 40 minutes or so. But Lila Belshaw emptying the tank for a new personal best. And Alica Schmidt might have hit a new personal best as well. 2:03.21 for Schmidt. So definitely a season's best, but I feel like it could be a lifetime best for her as well. Post-race debrief, immediate. These athletes. There's a look at the results. Lila Belshaw, new personal best, 2:02.01. Lucia Sturm, 2:02.59. Fiona von Fluel, a personal best as well, 2:02.64. Anita Henriksdottir, her fastest time in 7 years, 2:03.04. Alica Schmidt, 2:03.21. And Michelle Grobley, 2:05.
The women's 800 meters produced one of the most tactically fascinating races of the meeting, combining aggressive front running, intelligent positioning, and a dramatic final acceleration that completely reshaped the outcome in the closing stages. Although much of the pre-race attention centered around Germany's Alica Schmidt and several promising European juniors, it was Nicola Kova who ultimately demonstrated the most complete and disciplined performance of the field. Her victory was not built purely on raw speed, but on superior race management, patience under pressure, and perfect timing when the decisive moment arrived. From the opening meters, the race immediately established a demanding rhythm. Nicola Kova accepted pacemaking responsibilities and ensured the field would not settle into a slow tactical affair. That decision changed the entire complexion of the race. Instead of conserving energy for a late sprint, the athletes were forced to commit physically much earlier than expected. The first lap became a test of composure as runners attempted to balance aggression with energy conservation. Germany's Lucia Sturm reacted quickly to the pace and showed clear intent to control the race from near the front. Having recently achieved a personal best of 2:07.7, Sturm entered the event with growing confidence and visible momentum. Her strategy reflected an athlete determined to continue lowering her times rather than simply racing for position. Throughout the first 400 meters, she maintained an assertive posture, staying close to the lead and attempting to stretch the field before the final lap. Behind the leaders, Great Britain's Lila Belshaw and Switzerland's Fiona von Fluel displayed much greater patience. Rather than responding immediately to the aggressive tempo, both athletes focused on maintaining efficient rhythm and avoiding unnecessary movement through traffic. This proved important because the pace generated significant fragmentation within the pack. Several runners struggled to maintain contact as the tempo intensified approaching 500 meters. Alica Schmidt, meanwhile, remained under heavy attention from spectators and cameras throughout the race. Known globally for her popularity and sprint background, Schmidt has continued trying to establish herself more seriously within middle-distance competition. However, the 800 meters remains an event where tactical awareness and energy distribution are often more important than pure athleticism alone. In this race, Schmidt initially positioned herself reasonably well during the opening lap, avoiding the chaos in the middle of the pack while still staying close enough to respond later. The critical phase began shortly after the bell lap. Nicola Kova, after setting much of the early rhythm, demonstrated impressive composure by refusing to panic when several athletes attempted to surge around her. Instead of overreacting, she maintained her cadence and gradually increased pressure entering the final 250 meters. That decision exposed which athletes had miscalculated their energy expenditure during the aggressive opening stages. Lucia Sturm began showing the first visible signs of fatigue entering the final bend. Her earlier commitment to the pace had cost valuable energy reserves, and her stride frequency started decreasing under pressure. Belshaw attempted to move outside and launch her finishing kick, while Fiona von Fluel tried advancing through the inside lane to avoid running extra distance around the curve. The race suddenly transformed from controlled pacing into complete tactical chaos. At this exact moment, Nicola Kova delivered the decisive move of the race. Her acceleration was not explosive in a sprinting sense, but it was incredibly efficient and sustained. She increased turnover gradually while maintaining excellent form mechanics, particularly through the shoulders and hips. Unlike several competitors whose posture collapsed under fatigue, Kova remained relaxed, allowing her stride to stay fluid during the most physically demanding section of the race. Alica Schmidt attempted to respond as the field accelerated, but the timing worked against her. While she remained competitive for much of the race, the final 150 meters exposed the difference between maintaining contact and truly controlling the event. Schmidt struggled to produce a decisive change of pace when the leader surged. Her cadence increased, but her forward momentum did not improve enough to challenge for victory. In elite 800-meter racing, the ability to produce one final controlled acceleration after sustained discomfort often separates contenders from winners, and this became the defining factor here. What made Nicola Kova's performance particularly impressive was her understanding of rhythm distribution. Many young middle-distance runners either commit too aggressively early or wait too long before initiating their final move. Kova avoided both mistakes. She allowed the race to develop naturally, absorbed pressure without wasting motion, and attacked precisely when her opponents were reaching their physical limit. The final straight perfectly summarized the race dynamics. Several athletes were fighting simply to maintain form, while Kova continued driving forward with remarkable efficiency. Belshaw fought bravely to stay close, and Fiona von Fuhl's disciplined positioning earlier in the race allowed her to remain competitive deep into the finish. Sturm, despite fading late, still demonstrated enormous potential through her willingness to race aggressively against strong opposition. For Alica Schmidt, the race represented another important learning experience in her transition toward higher-level middle-distance competition. Her athletic profile gives her undeniable advantages in speed and strength, but championship-caliber 800-meter racing requires precision in pacing, tactical anticipation, and energy conservation across every phase of the race. Against a field filled with specialized middle-distance athletes, those details become decisive. Ultimately, the women's 800 meters became far more than a simple junior race. It showcased the growing depth of European middle-distance running and highlighted how tactical maturity can overcome reputation or external expectations. Nicola Kova's victory was earned through intelligence, discipline, and flawless execution under pressure. In a race filled with ambitious young talent, she proved that the smartest runner, not simply the fastest, often wins the 800 meters.